Welcome to the MarkZDrumcast. This is the Sunday edition of the MarkZDrumcast. I am your host, Mark Zapata, the owner and founder of MarkZDrums. Louis is outside, my co-host. He might make his way in here. There you hear him. He's saying hello. Thank you, everybody, for coming by and stopping by on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. For those of you that are NFL fans, I hope you are enjoying your games and watching this later. But for now, let's get into some drums. So over the weekend, I was working with some students, and one of my students brought up the Bonham Triplets from the legendary drummer John Bonham of Led Zeppelin. So we're going to talk about that today. That also made me think of another figure and another cool lick called the dropping the bomb, which is something else that Bonham does, but also in the song Separate Ways, the great Steve Smith does a lot of dropping the bomb, a lot of fills during the part of the song that is like a sort of a drum solo within the song. And so I'll show you how that works and how that goes also. So getting back to the student who brought up the Bonham Triplets, what I like when my students do is during the week between lessons, when they're doing their own practicing, I love for my students to go and seek out other information, whether it be, videos or, if they have questions, if they have things they want to know about. There's so many resources that, that you can go out and find online, whether it be on YouTube or, any other kind of format where you can see, the MarkZDrumcast, anything like that. You can go and seek out information. You could look up drum tabs. You could look up drum sheet music if you're curious about a song that you want to learn about. And so I love that kind of stuff. So my student was talking about the Bonham Triplets, and he showed it to me. He said, I think it's like this. And he showed me, and I said, that's exactly right. But the most important thing about these Bonham Triplets, or really anything that we're doing in drumming, is playing it evenly and being on time with it. Because if you're not on time when you start to increase your speed, it's not going to sound good, all right? And that's what we need. We need to be on time, not only for the bands that we're working with, but we need to be on time when we ourselves are doing things, soloing, playing fills, whatever it is. Those need to be on time. So if there's anything that we're doing that is challenging, that we want to work on, the very first thing we want to do is we want to make sure that they are on time, right? So let's talk about the Bonham Triplets. Triplets, as we say, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet and triplet, 2 triplet and triplet, 3 triplet and triplet, 4 triplet and triplet, right? So the eighth note triplets are 1 triplet per beat. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. 16th note triplets are 2 triplets per beat. 1 triplet and triplet, 2 triplet and triplet, 3 triplet and triplet, 4 triplet and triplet, which means our 16th note triplets are 6 notes, right, per beat, whereas the 8th note triplets are 3 notes per beat. So of course the 16th note triplets we have to play faster, twice as fast. So let's do a little quick breakdown of the Bonham Triplets. I will start out slow, and then I will gradually speed it up. I will add the hi-hat in there, but for now just concentrate on what my hands are doing. I'm going to start out snare, tom, bass, and then I'm going to start to move it around the drum kit, move it around the toms. So as with anything, make sure it's even, not just between the first 3 notes in the triplet, but between that last bass drum and the first note of the next triplet. Make sure all of that stuff is even, and it'll sound really cool. I was taught to add the hi-hat in there, and let me play it for you, and then I'll let you know where I think that hi-hat is. But I think it adds a lot, so listen up to this. So I think, correct me if I'm wrong, if you can hear this, that the hi-hat is on the first note of each triplet. So it's on the downbeat as we're going through those Bonham triplets. Bonham did some crossovers and things as he's doing his triplets, which sound really cool. And of course, on his giant Ludwig Vista lights, nothing sounded better or cooler than those triplets. So he would also do a 4-note figure that is exactly a single stroke 4. If you look up the 40 Rudiments, and I will include a link to the 40 Rudiments in the description below this video. If you look up the 40 Rudiments, look at the single stroke 4. It is a 16th note triplet followed by an 8th note. So it's a triplet on the first half of the beat and then the and of that beat. 1 triplet and, 2 triplet and, 3 triplet and, 4 triplet and. This is the way it sounds on the snare drum. And so now we expand that figure to snare, tom, tom, bass, where the bass drum is now going to be that 8th note, and the triplet is going to happen between snare, tom, bass, or tom, tom, bass. No, I'm sorry. The triplet is going to happen between snare, tom, tom, or tom, 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 like this. I think something like that happens at the end of Rock and Roll, where he is dropping the bomb constantly. Again, check out Separate Ways by Journey, and you'll hear Steve Smith dropping the bomb at the end of the verse, something like this. Something like that, but you do hear some bombs dropping in there. It's also a pretty popular figure in jazz drumming. I'm not a jazz player. I could play a little bit of jazz, and I do enjoy it. I wouldn't say I'm good at it. I wouldn't say that my jazz drumming sounds good. You know, that's a work in progress, so I will not treat you to my version of dropping the bomb in a jazz setting. No. But just rock and roll. And in that song, Separate Ways, it's very, very cool. So both of these figures, make sure you're playing them nice and evenly. Let me show you dropping the bomb again, because it's really, really fun to play. But again, only when it's played on time. So experiment with that. Do it nice and slow. Do it around the drum kit. Give yourself time to develop a good feel for it and to play it evenly. So practice it slowly around the drum kit and then gradually increase the speed and move your hands around to different places to experiment with different sounds. That's how we develop our own style. We experiment with different things, different sounds. We decide what we like, what we don't like. We take what we like, we leave the rest, and then we move on from there. So that's it for today. A short but sweet Drumcast, because I will be coming at you tomorrow, regular time, regular day. But I wanted to stop in and say what's up. It is a beautiful day out. Go and enjoy yourself. Also, a very successful official Patreon launch for me yesterday. A lot of fun. Head out to my Patreon, sign up and get yourself a sticker. Get yourself a drum cover request. And even maybe in the future, as I add more tiers, maybe we'll even do drum song breakdowns where you can request not only a drum cover, but I'll break down the song for you if you want to know how to play it. Plus, a whole lot of good stuff. First, access to new drum cover videos. I'm working on one right now that I think you'll really like. That's going to appear on my Patreon. But if you do not become a member, that's fine. Any support is appreciated. A like, a follow, a share, a comment, anything like that. So thank you very much. MarkZDrums across all platforms. Have a great day, and I'll catch you next time.